This is big breaking emergency news. We were just issued a major warning and a major alert from the highest levels, warning of a nuclear disaster. All right, that is what's being warned of right now. And we are also seeing currently nuclear disasters happening as well in Europe right now, right? So let's get into the details here really quick. Please just hit it up for me down there. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. I'm posting multiple videos a day, keeping you guys updated on all this big urgent news, right? So we were just issued a warning from this space that happened between Trump and Elon Musk, all right? Trump was dropping some bombshells in the middle of this interview, and I want you guys to listen to this clip here really quick. And then we also have updates on the nuclear power plant in Ukraine that is under emergency situation right now and has smoke rising from it, right? The Zaporizhia nuclear power plant, right? We will give an update on that in just a minute too. But I want you guys to listen to what Trump is warning of, right? He's issuing a nuclear warning. So listen to this really quick and let me know what you guys think down below.
Because of me. You know, I always say that we have enemies on the outside and we have enemies on the inside. We have some really bad people in our government and people that are, and controlling of the people. I mean, I'd mention names, but I really don't want to give them the credit. But we have some really bad, and I say they're more dangerous than Russia and China. If you have a smart president, a president that gets it, we are not in danger from those countries because they need us and they need our help. I mean, we forced Obama, if you think about it, Obama and Biden, and Bush to a certain extent, in all fairness, forced Russia and China together. And if you're a history student, the first thing you learn is you cannot let Russia and China align. But then they also got, if you take a look, Iran, and they have North Korea. That's, you know, they call it the axis of evil. In the old days, you had the axis of evil. Here we have a modern day axis of evil. These are powerful countries, very heavy nuclear, which is the biggest threat. You know, the biggest threat is not global warming, where the ocean's going to rise 1/8 of an inch over the next 400 years. And you'll have more oceanfront property, right? The biggest threat is not that. The biggest threat is nuclear warming, because we have 5 countries now that have significant nuclear power, and we have to not allow anything to happen with stupid people like Biden. You know, Biden did something with Russia. There was no chance of him ever going in. And when I left, and then after I left, they started forming big armies on the border with Ukraine, right?
All right, so you heard that there. Trump was warning that we could see nuclear war pop off, right? And he's saying that it's contributing to what's happening in Ukraine, right? And also with what's happening in Iran and Israel as well too, right? He's contributing these wars that are popping off, right? The situation has been more volatile than ever, and he was saying we could have, quote, nuclear warming instead of other types of warming, all right? So big alert from Trump. This is true, and currently right now we have this situation going on in Ukraine. Okay, so he's talking about Ukraine and Russia and how the situation was allowed to fall apart. And this is an update from the International Atomic Energy Agency. They have announced that earlier today a group of experts visited the site of yesterday's large fire at the cooling tower within the nuclear power plant of southeastern Ukraine, which they believe is unlikely to have begun at the base of the tower, but instead roughly 10 meters above the water nozzle distribution level. All right, so they're saying that the fire started around 30 feet above the water distribution level and not at the base of the tower. They also went on to say burnt plastic and concrete was noted at the site, and there was no evidence of any tires or drone debris in or around the cooling tower. That's what the International Atomic Agency, Energy Agency is reporting right now. And Russia, that has control over these towers and this power plant, they were reporting that this plant was coming under drone attack. All right, so they were saying that this is from a drone hit to the cooling towers and causing the smoke to leak out. And the International Atomic Agency is warning that they didn't have any evidence of drone debris, okay, in or around the cooling tower. So a little bit of conflicting information coming here. All right, this is the middle of a war. All right, so both sides are going to say what they want to say. All right, push the narrative that advances them whatever direction they want. Okay, but this did also happen after this, or right around the same time of this major advance from Ukraine into these contested regions, and we've seen mass evacuations of Russians. All right, so there's been a lot of activity. There's been an oil rig that was exploded in the Black Sea as well, and that's what Trump was warning of, is that these situations could pop off and they could go nuclear, and we are getting closer than ever, right? And if you think about it, it's true. This was not really a real threat, right? We had somewhat of a relationship with these other countries, and it did not feel so destabilizing as it does now, right? Like North Korea, Trump was saying how he had a relationship with them before, went over there, first president ever to step into North Korea, okay? And now the situation there has deteriorated more than ever, okay? So this is true. And this could be one of the big things that pops off before the end of the year. Let's hope not. Let's hope we don't see that. But we could see an event like this shake up, right? This could be an October surprise, something along these lines, because it doesn't seem like they've been trying to stop any of these wars. It seems like they've been allowed to happen and fester, and possibly even facilitating some of these wars, right? And funding people like Iran, okay? A lot of funds have been released to them and given to them over the past few years, and now they're in a totally different position. So a lot of things going on, and we are already seeing a nuclear situation currently inside of Europe right now. I want you to listen to what he also said for just a minute here, because this was from the full space that Trump had with Elon Musk, okay? And I will be posting the full interview later tonight for you guys. All right, I'm working on getting that whole thing up. It was over 2 hours, so I will post that later for you guys. But I wanted to get this talking point here, this clip in here, because this was one of the major things that stood out to me, that he was warning of a nuclear war we could see in the next 4 years for sure. Think about how bad things are right now. Think about how bad things will be in 2028 if the situation is not reversed. All right, so listen to this really quick too.
And I looked at that, and I thought he was doing that because Putin's a good negotiator. I thought he was doing that to negotiate. But then Biden started saying such stupid things. For instance, he said that it can be a NATO country. Now, Russia, for as long as there's been NATO, has said we're never going to agree to that. And we go right up front and say that. And we did things and said things through this president with a low IQ, very low IQ. He had a low IQ 30 years ago, by the way, but now he might not even have a IQ at all. There's nothing on the board that goes this low. He said things that were so stupid that war would have been, that war had zero chance of happening if I were there. Zero chance. He was saying everything the opposite. Everything the opposite. And it's so sad because many more people have been killed in Ukraine than you read about. You don't read about how bloody it is and how disaster. Sure. Hey, look, just in the two armies, you lost 500,000 people. And Ukraine's having a hard time. Ukraine, I don't know if you saw the article recently, and it's true. You don't hear the true story, but if you think about it, Russia's gone. Russia defeated Germany with us, and they defeated Napoleon. They've been around a long time. They're a big fighting force, and it's very unfair. And Ukraine now doesn't have enough men. They're now using young men and very old men to fight, and we're in a very bad position. And I'm not going to blame exclusively, but I can tell you I could have stopped that, and a smart president could have stopped that. It wouldn't have happened. But we had a man that actually made it more prevalent. It was so bad, the words that he was using, the stupid threats coming from a stupid face that he was using.
All right, so you guys heard that there. And it's true, right? Everything he was saying is true. This situation with Ukraine has been a disaster for both sides. Hundreds of thousands of losses, right? So many lives lost, so much devastation, destruction. And it could have been prevented. It's true. And now we're on the edge of a nuclear war. And we are also on the edge of a nuclear disaster inside of Ukraine as well, from this power plant. And this is actually a very similar situation to the Chernobyl nuclear disaster, right? That's why this is a big deal, because this is right around where it happened, right? It's the same region where this happened. So we could see history repeat itself and see this nuclear material blow over Europe, right? Blow over Russia potentially, and even blow into places like Alaska, and eventually come to the West Coast or East Coast, right? Depending on where these things would drift off to, but we could see this affect us here as well, right? So thank you guys. Please hit it up for me down there to help get these warnings out, get these messages out. All right, there's a lot of stuff going on, and we're getting closer every single day, it feels like. So make sure you guys are getting prepared, getting ready, getting stocked up. All right, it's go time, because we don't know what's going to happen. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what cards are going to be played, and it could go either way. We can't get complacent. We can't just assume that things are going to work out the way we want them to, because that's not how it always works. A lot of times there is a plan, but sometimes the plan doesn't fully come through, right? Not anything's perfect. Nothing's perfect. Not everything's perfect. And we can't get complacent and just assume that it's going to work out for us, all right? And things are just going to turn around, all right? Need to be prepared and ready, and fortifying yourself as well, so you are resilient to any of these disruptions. Because, guys, if we see something like this happen, this World War Three front really advance, we're waiting for attacks on Israel any moment now, any day now, they're saying. Okay, and the reason why this is taking so long is because this is going to be a big thing. All right, Iran's preparing to attack, but they are also getting prepared as well to defend after the attack, because they know that Israel is going to go on a major offensive as well, responding to any attack from Iran. All right, so both sides are digging in, both sides are getting ready. Okay, and the U.S. could become more heavily involved in this situation very easily. And the U.S. has strike groups. They have guided missile submarine systems in the Mediterranean. There's 2,500 U.S. Marines. Okay, there's a lot of resources that are moving to this region right now to prepare and defend against this, right? So we are already in the thick of this. Okay, and we could see this situation pop off. So make sure you guys are prepared. Make sure you're ready. Don't get complacent, right? Thank you guys. I hope you have big blessings for your life, your family, and I hope you have a big old blessed day.